Welcome back to King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows, my platform for discussing one of my favorite anime of all time, Mobile Fighter G Gundam. This time, I'm going to be talking about episode 37, where Sai Saici and Domon fight their decisive match. I'm MJ, and, I don't know, I like Gundam. I like giant fighting robots and stuff, so we're going to do this. So without going into detail or into a synopsis of the episode, the basic thing that happens, isn't that a synopsis? Shh, don't say anything about it. Sai Saici stumbles across a letter from his dad. I guess it's his last will and testament before he, died on Earth, possibly alone, unable to fulfill his dream of rebuilding and reestablishing and bringing back to primacy the Shaolin Temple, which is what Sai Saici is now tasked with doing. And in the will, he exhorts, Zuisen, and I can't remember the other monk, but the monks to raise his son right, to give him the strength that he needs to be able to fulfill that dream of resurrecting the Shaolin Temple and bringing it to prominence again in Neo-China, excuse me. And I gotta say, this episode was really beautiful. I try not to share too much information, but I just had a masculine child born unto me, and my wife, of course. She was the one who did the bearing, and Anyway, it was weird. This is not my first kid, not my first rodeo, not my first time watching this show or this episode, but seeing it again after having, an airborne to me was, it was interesting. It felt a little more impactful. It felt a little bit like, I definitely got emotional seeing, Sai Saici wanting to live in such a way to accomplish a feat to make his dad happy. And it was even more emotional when, from beyond the grave, Sai Saici's father's, I think his father's name is Chikolin, is that right? Anybody in the comments, if you know, please correct me. Anyway, his dad from the hereafter strengthens his son and helps him reach, the heights of his power. He is able to bring back, to resurrect, to use this, long lost, or supposedly long lost technique of the Shaolin fighting style, and with it he almost defeats Domon Kashu, and almost he almost defeats him. He gets the closest, I think, to defeating Domon that anybody has. He destroys the right arm of Burning Gundam and is only stopped because Domon has mastered using the burning finger with both hands, and it's a big surprise that he executes it from the left, and he uses that to defeat Sai Saici. So, gosh, I don't know. This whole legacy thing that is at work in these episodes, or in this episode, it really got to me. And again, I don't know if it's because I'm super susceptible to it right now or what, but no, I don't think that's it, because it was just well-crafted storytelling. It was interesting. So I'm going to kind of detour away, and then I'll come back to talking about this. But it was almost as if the episode was mainly focused on fighting. Sai Saici, is slacking, and then he's training really hard. Then he goes and makes dinner for his bro and everybody, and it interrupts Domon and not Rain, the other one. Domon and Allenby's training, and then he makes the dinner for them and stuff, and then he and Allenby have a fight. I'm synopsizing. Sorry, it's just I'm trying to recount everything and recollect what I wanted to say. It felt like such an action-packed, action-oriented episode, and it was about fighting, but the truth is it wasn't about fighting. Just like the show isn't about fighting, it's about more. It's about people's connections. It's about what drives people. And gosh, it was just so satisfying. What more is there to say? What more is there to say? So if you can't tell, I really like this episode. I like some of the stuff that was brought up in the narrative, like Domon at some point says, when he's talking about, I think he's talking about Sai with Allenby, or is he recollecting on his own? I'm not sure. But he says, this guy's interesting. I'm his enemy, and he needs to defeat me in order to make his dream come true. But he's always hanging around, and he calls me bro. And there's this almost intimacy between us, and yet, here we are, opponents and whatnot. I thought that was really interesting. And another thing, it was a dragonfly. Cool. Anyway, another thing I thought was really interesting is that during their fight, excuse me, I'm not getting emotional, just my throat is sore because I've been on the edge of sickness for like 2 weeks. Anyway, during their fight, at the very beginning of it, Sai Saici tells Domon, don't worry, bro, as soon as this fight's over, I'm going to be ready to help you. Or not even that. It's almost like we will deal with the Dark Gundam after this. And it's almost like a win or lose. Whether I win, whether I lose, after this match, we are for sure going to be dealing with the Dark Gundam because I'm here to help you and whatnot. And just, I don't know, man, like all the... I hate to sound repetitive because I think I really do. And maybe if I'm going to be repetitive, and I know I'm going to be repetitive, maybe I should just make these reviews a lot shorter. But between the awesome fighting, the interesting little conversations that were had in the episode during the fight, and before, and heck after too, the little bit of talking they did was really great too, and like the great music and score, and probably like I don't know if I said directing or not, but that's definitely part of the fighting, the way everything's framed. The directing helps it to feel more emotional and to be more clear in what's being conveyed. And what I got from watching this episode today was that like there is a great nobility and honor in the martial arts, and in it's not even fighting, it's more pursuing your goals, and I don't know, like disciplining yourself, holding yourself to a higher standard, or to an objective standard, I suppose you could say, where you're trying your best to accomplish something that's really hard. And I don't know, man, like it was just really impressive. And I'm just babbling at this point. I don't really know what else constructive to say, but I really liked this episode. It made me feel all sorts of feelings. I was very emotional. And gosh, I don't know what to say. I'd really love a sequel to Sai Saici. I know I've said that a few times over the course of King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows, but it's true. I don't know. Maybe I should go look for some fanfic or something. Anyway, that's all I have to say. There's going to be a little outro thing later, but I think I'm really going to pick up the pace and focus on King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows. Like, I might do 3 or 4 a week. I kind of want to be done with the show because I got to get back to writing. Speaking of doing things that you want to do that aren't necessarily fighting, I got to get back to writing. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. I have more stuff to publish on this story that I'm writing, like piecemeal, and kind of like I'm releasing bits of my draft of this story, this short story that is actually for a longer story or a full novel that I want to write one day. But I figure I can't just keep putting things off. I need to... Whoa. I guess this kind of connects to the episode. I need to commit to and throw myself into this fight, into doing what I want. So I haven't talked about this too much on King Hearts, Queen of Sorrows, so I'll indulge myself. And listener, if you want to jump off now, go ahead. Sorry. But yeah, I have dreams I want to achieve. I have things I want to do, and I've for so long just planned and not finished things because I'm still planning. I need to make this perfect. But you know what? You know what the thing is that'll always miss. The punch that will always miss is the one that you never throw. Like, you got to take the shot if you want to hit the goal, and that's what I'm doing. And as much as I am enjoying the show, as much as I'm enjoying making King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows, doing the reviews, watching the show, Mobile Fighter G Gundam, it's all distracting me from what I really want to be doing, which is writing. It's been fun, but it's got to come to an end sometime, and I'm gonna keep up, a minimal amount, like probably once a week type thing on on YouTube and podcasts, and you can find that all at mjmunoz.com on other things. But like, I really do want to focus on writing, have that be the thing I'm mainly doing, especially because the way I'm so busy and the things that I want to do are less important than the things I need to do, because I've got bills to pay and I've got mouths to feed. So like, I've been making a habit of walking at work, and which is why there's outside noise that you can hear right now. There's gardeners a couple hundred feet ahead of me, so I'm going to turn back around. But I've been making a habit of walking, and I've been watching stuff and reading comics and doing these reviews and stuff like that. And the plan is to, if I can every day walk for a few minutes, or walk for 20, 30 minutes and get some writing done every day, I will have something really good to put out at the end of the week. And I've neglected to do that all week, but I've been reading Spider-Man comics because anyway, I'm rambling on too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. Anyway, folks, go out there and grasp happiness, because doing things you love is one of the most important things you can do, and it's going to keep you going when things get hard, and life is always hard, and we can't escape hardship, but we can embrace it with joy and with strength when we honor ourselves and those around us. I guess that's all I have to say. mjmunoz.com is home for all my work, podcasts and reviews of anime, tokusatsu, Star Wars, and more, plus my original writings. If you didn't enjoy this, critique me. If you did, leave me a comment. If you really like this, consider tipping me at coffee.com/mjmunoz. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Until next time, be well.